Hello and welcome to Artificial Intelligence for Information Accessibility, AI for IA 2023 Virtual Conference, September 28th, 2023. UNESCO Information for All Program IFAP Working Group on Information Accessibility. Hello, my name's Lynn Rowe. I'm your presenter today. First, I'd like to start off by thanking the chairman, Cordell Green, for asking me to participate. So in the beginning, I'd like to start with a little bit of the history of internet because access to AI is so much dependent upon it. It wasn't that long ago in 1992 or thereabouts that the beginnings of the internet started in North America and have expanded across the world via global marine fiber optic networks to cover nearly every corner of the world. And from these fiber gateways, further expansion has been enabled through mobile and other sorts of consumer electronics technologies. So clearly, technology, hardware development has enabled a vast accessibility to data applications. And these application access has been enabled through software, which is being depicted here through the growth of the Chrome browser across the world. And likewise, generations of consumer electronic gaming equipment, cell phones, tablets, PCs enable accessibility as well. Similarly, this new generation of AI is a massive advance in accessibility because now through ChatGPT-like large language model queries, you're simply able to ask questions of the platform, complex questions of large database sets, and be able to get very well organized answers. So there are clear implications to education, access to education, and development of skills. So let's look at the pace of technology change over the decade. What's clear is as the accumulated impact of hardware, software, and networking technologies join together to create new capabilities, the pace of technology has accelerated. But unfortunately, we've witnessed a accelerated digital and economic divide as a result. So it's been clear for quite some time, as Pew had demonstrated nearly a decade ago, that access to technology equals opportunity, and that without that type of access, without being able to overcome these barriers, opportunity is difficult to find. And it's been demonstrated in a very broad and long-standing way across many countries. But even in North America, there are pockets of disconnect, no access, and even worse so, where lack of capital and or older generations of technology enable much poorer connectivity, if at all. On top of that, there are language barriers, given that the internet is primarily in English. Added to that, censorship and regulatory barriers around the world. There's a complex matrix of situations that impact accessibility to the internet and thus artificial intelligence. So let's look at what we're talking about in terms of the modern developments of AI. What's so special about it? Well, in 2014, there was a match between a computing platform, AlphaGo, and the then world grand champion, Lisa Dahl, where it was demonstrated that computational platforms were capable of massive innovation, unpredictable types of conclusions, something much more advanced than had ever been seen before in statistical or automation systems. The scale of these types of neural networking capabilities had presented a new ability to innovate. And in combination with human innovation, as was demonstrated in these games, massive acceleration of innovation in a machine-human hybrid is capable. So this is the beginning of modern superintelligence. But what are other considerations? When we look at the artificial general intelligence platforms, we have to consider things like where the data comes from. As our friend Noam Chomsky noted it as high-tech plagiarism, he's pointing out that the data is being scraped from the open internet, from people who have had no interaction or given any approval of collection of their data for use in this fashion. Was it just uncurated? What does just general open internet data say about the human populace? Is this an accurate view? What would computational assumptions about a noisy database with a lot of social networking noise represent about the state of the planet in general? How is the data curated? Who is curating it? What are they curating it for? For what purposes? Who will profit from the use of these artificial intelligence platforms? So it's not the technology, it's how we decide to use it. That's the issue. So they're already smarter than us. And clearly with the addition of quantum computing, they will be massively more intelligent than us in a not too distant future. So we have to worry about things like control codes and regulations. This is clear. So what are control codes? Asimov talked about them in 1940, but they're a means of being able to ensure that the platform works in the interest of the human being. This is critical. And how do we manifest these types of control codes? We have to be able to manifest them in a way which addresses all of the affairs of man, whether they're military, enterprise, governmental, nation state, criminal, public, across region, country, industry, technology. In any way that these technologies can be used, they need to be managed. The EU has started to make movements in this way to be able to enable a safe, transparent, traceable, non-discriminatory, and environmental friendly environment, ecosystem, overseen by human beings rather than automation to prevent harmful outcomes. But this is just the beginning. They're categorizing risk. They're trying to be able to build a model to be able to start management. But there's no platform that uses this yet, nor is there any enforcement of this or means of being able to verify this at this point. The FCC is moving in these directions to reduce barriers to competition, but they're focusing on accelerating competition. On the good side, if aimed appropriately, these types of super intelligent technologies can be aimed at all of the problems of the world and could systematically address them and be able to manifest paradise in our time. But without it, without focusing on those types of outcomes, by manifesting businesses and human interactions as we have to this point, there are clearly definite dangers in terms of how these technologies may be used. So in the end, fighting for equal access is the key to equal opportunity and a brighter future for the world. The dangers of misuse of superintelligence are real and significant. Consistent focus on human-centric, common man-oriented development by governments, NGOs, enterprise, and the populace in general is foundational to avoid the darker consequences of AI development. Compassion versus competition is the key.